This is going to be more of a philosophical talk, not a HD high resolution video for people who love nature here. This is more of a spiritual talk. And before it's getting too dark for my other adventure, we'll show you a couple of areas while talking about truth in a spiritual sense, and also uh, about baptism, the role and the importance of the baptism in a Christian life. And I'm going to say this is science fiction. This is science fiction, and it might not be in line with some Christian beliefs, especially those who study the Bible as a history book, like a chain of events. Actually, what I'm doing here, I'm training my body. I'm strengthening my muscle. While uh, hiking here on these rocks, I need to use a lot of muscle power in order to maintain the balance. I never hit the ground, so lucky me. It tells me that I'm still young at mind, because you need a young mind to adventure this type of terrain. So, truth. Today, the Christians celebrate the John the Baptist. It's a really important day in the Christian life. Uh, my mom said that she welcomed the priest. The priest goes around to every Christian house who welcomes the priest, opens the door and is waiting for the priest with, some welcoming gifts, or just some symbolic gifts, and a little donation for the church to maintain the church. So it's a tradition for a long time, probably hundreds of years. Some new type of people complain about that, saying that the church does not need money. Why the priests are going around to get this type of donations? But yeah, ignore those. Um, John the Baptist. So this is a guy who was programmed by God to expose and seek the truth. And he knew who is the guy who is bringing the truth to the world. So the truth is the opposite to the darkness, which encouraged the evil to thrive. Oh, it's kind of sinky here. Okay, that's interesting. And this guy, like Jesus, were fighting to expose the truth. And they gave their lives in the name of the truth, which comes from God. And they became martyrs, but they changed the history. And I'm not going to dig into that because my video time is limited. And probably I'll record a set of videos regarding martyrs and that type of mentality, and what means spiritually to go for the ultimate sacrifice. And I mentioned that into one of my videos about the Titanic dude who gave up his life to save his love of his life. So John the Baptist. Okay, so we as Christians, after being baptized, we became servants of Jesus. And through Jesus, we are servants of God. And God is the entity that creates, while evil is the one that destroys. So evil has its own army, or agents, while God works through people using the Holy Spirit as a kind of an energy system or energy being that is very, very intelligent and resides in almost everyone who is, I mean, everyone has the Holy Spirit, but not everyone is listening to the information that comes from the Holy Spirit. So you need to cultivate that. So what the Christians know is that when they get baptized, they start serving Jesus. So they dedicate their lives serving Jesus. And it's the same type of relationship people have with the king. So you swear to the king, or you are, how you call this word, sworn to the king. Anyway, so myself, I didn't do that when I moved to Canada. I didn't want to become a citizen. I mean, I wanted, but now I learned that you have to go through this process, swear to the queen. It's like you are dedicated to the queen or something. What the heck? No, queen is not my god. Maybe she was a good person, but anyway, so that's different. It's politics here. Uh, so a kid comes to in the world, and Christian parents dedicate the kid to serve Jesus. And why they would do that? Of course, they care about the kid, and they want the kid to be a good person. But deeper than that, let's dig a little bit deeper than that. I need to focus on other things here. That's why I'm talking very slowly. It's not a very friendly place here, but I wanted to see it. Then let's compare to people who dedicate their child to the Satan. They are actually rituals. People dedicate their child to Satan. So why they would do that? Why they don't let the child to make a choice? Like wait for the child, and when he is like a 20 or something, like an adult age, he can decide for himself. He has the freedom to choose to worship Satan, or maybe worship some other guru, or maybe worship a king, or it's his freedom. But what happens? Those Satan or satanic type of mindsets, they want powers, and they want to worship their god, which is Satan, in order to get protection and power. Same thing when people worship a king. They're kind of forced to worship the king because the king is controlling the whole territory. So most people have no choice than worshiping the king. And through that, the king is getting powers. So it could be a king who gains new territories, and through force make everyone worship him. So he is growing in powers by having people giving him their powers. So their mind focus on the king increases this guy power. Then they have to provide this guy with all sorts of material things, including taxes. So these human kings, they steal people power. So that's one of the reasons I don't want to worship a king or a president or something, because it's like they force my free will to worship them, and that's not godly. Let's go back to this people who worship Satan. So they want powers, and they want Satan to protect them, because once they sell their, let's call soul. They don't sell the soul, but they make a trade with the Satan through his agents or straight to Satan. They make the trade. They say, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you a sacrifice. And some people sacrifice a cow. Some people offer blood. Some people kill some other people. People kill other people in the name of Satan. So they get powers. And you probably never heard of that, but yeah, it's a real thing. And while others, they give their child, even before the child is coming into this world, that child is given to the Satan, and the child will get a nasty, nasty life without knowing. They have no idea that their parents um, gave him or her to the Satan. Same thing happens with Christians. So they give their child to Jesus as a servant. So they want the child to serve Jesus, but in their mind there is the idea that Jesus will protect the child in the future, and Jesus will protect the family. It's kind of a sacrifice in a way, but they don't understand that. They just think, okay, I want my child to serve Jesus. So they never ask the child or wait for the child to have the free will. So the child will decide to serve Jesus or somebody else. But it's a good thing because the parents know that along the way the child can be manipulated and can be programmed, and uh, dark forces can use the child mind in order to control his thoughts and actions. So evil will steal the child on his side. So it's a good thing that the Christian parents do that. They baptize the child very early in his life or her life. Now, moving on to the significance of baptism. When Jesus came into this world, um, he was a chosen one. It was known that he will come into the world to make big changes to the world. So it's written. It's a big human species event. So it was written. God choose a type of person who is pure at heart, so like has no sins, and for that reason, out of so many people in the world, they choose a person who came from a generation of clean souls, people who worship God. And so, if you know the history of Mary, um, she was born in a clean family. She was put into a temple, somehow made to serve God in the temple, and so through the temple lifestyle, she was kept pure, like sinless, away from evil. And God realized that she kept clean. There is no evil around her to taint her mind, taint her soul and mind, and God decided that Holy Spirit would go and